Take a slow breath. Let it reach your chest this time. And as you exhale, let your shoulders fall. If you're here right now, it's not by accident. There's a quiet feeling you haven't been able to name, a sense that something or someone has shifted, not loudly, not dramatically, just enough to make your heart notice. You didn't lose them in a fight. There was no final argument, no clear ending. It was softer than that. A pause that lasted a little too long, a reply that felt different, an effort that slowly stopped being returned. And what makes it harder is this. You didn't stop caring, you just stopped reaching in ways that hurt. Most people think distance comes from anger, but the deepest distance comes from exhaustion. From realizing you've been explaining yourself to someone who stopped listening a long time ago. You didn't walk away suddenly, you faded, quietly. And here's the part most people don't talk about. When you begin to pull back, not to punish, not to manipulate, but to protect yourself, something shifts inside the other person, even if they never say it, even if they pretend not to notice. Because people feel energy before they understand it. They sense when your presence is no longer anchored to them, when your warmth doesn't rush forward anymore, when your silence isn't empty but intentional. And that's when things begin to change. They may not panic, they may not reach out right away, they may even act the same on the surface, but inside something unsettles. Because they remember the version of you who stayed, who waited, who explained, who loved without keeping score. And now, that version feels further away. This video isn't about making anyone regret losing you. It's not about power, control, or playing games. It's about understanding what happens inside someone's heart when they realize, too late, that the person who once made them feel safe is slowly choosing peace instead. It's about the quiet moments they don't admit to, the nights when your absence feels heavier than your presence ever did. The questions they start asking themselves when you stop asking for more. Because when you stop bending, when you stop chasing, when you stop proving your worth, something inside them begins to wake up. And what happens next often determines everything. So, stay with me, because what someone does when they feel you slipping away reveals far more than anything they ever said when they thought you'd always stay. First, they become quietly observant. When they feel you slipping away, they don't react loudly. They grow quiet. They watch instead of speak, notice instead of ask. They see how your smile has changed, how your energy no longer rushes toward them, how your replies feel lighter, less attached. This silence isn't confidence, it's confusion. Late at night, they replay old moments. They remember how easily they once reached you, how permanent your presence felt. Now, they watch your stories, reread old messages, wonder who you're becoming without them, and it shakes them, because you're no longer standing where they left you. Second, they feel the loss before it fully happens. Before you're truly gone, something inside them already aches. Not panic, yet, just a quiet heaviness they can't name. They feel it in the pauses, in the way your laughter doesn't reach them the same way. They start missing you while you're still there. You haven't disappeared. You've just stopped reaching first. And that shift unsettles them. Your name doesn't light up their phone anymore. Your absence feels louder than your presence once did. They replay conversations, searching for the moment everything changed. But it wasn't one moment. It was 1,000 small realizations. You stopped waiting, stopped asking, stopped proving your worth. Some nights they almost reach out. Pride, fear, or unfinished emotions stop them. They don't know if they've lost you, but they know something sacred is slipping through their fingers. And that uncertainty hurts more than loss itself. Third, their heart enters a silent conflict. Inside them, a quiet argument begins, One part wants to reach out, to be honest, to admit the distance. The other tells them to stay still, to protect their pride, to pretend they don't care, so they do nothing. But they think of you at unexpected times. Ordinary moments feel incomplete. They wonder how someone who once felt so close now feels just out of reach. They begin questioning themselves. Did they assume you'd always stay? Did they give less because you gave more? Did they mistake your patience for permanence? They remember how you loved quietly, how you showed up without conditions, how you stayed even when it wasn't easy. And now that love isn't guaranteed, and that realization weighs heavily, they want to believe there's still time, but something inside whispers that time doesn't wait forever. Fourth, their actions begin to speak. Eventually, silence becomes too heavy. They reach out casually. A simple message, a small reaction, a memory mentioned without explanation. Not because they don't care, but because caring feels risky now. They test the distance. Do you still respond the same way? Is your warmth still there? Sometimes they become more attentive. Other times they pull back again, afraid of revealing too much, too soon. This isn't confusion. It's fear. Fear they waited too long. Fear they took your love for granted. Fear you've learned how to live without them. And yet one truth becomes clear. You matter more now than ever before. Because loss sharpens awareness. They feel the absence of your effort, the strength in your distance, the way you no longer chase what doesn't choose you. And that humbles them. Finally, they realize too late what they risked losing. The realization doesn't arrive dramatically. It comes quietly, when it's already late. They see that you're no longer waiting, not angrily, not bitterly, peacefully. And that peace unsettles them the most. They remember the version of you who stayed, who explained instead of leaving, who hoped instead of walking away. But you're different now. Not colder, stronger. You don't ask for reassurance. You don't lean on their words to feel secure. Your silence no longer begs. It protects. And suddenly they understand. You didn't leave all at once. You left slowly, when your effort went unseen, when your love became expected, when your presence stopped being cherished. They finally see your value, not because you changed, but because you stopped shrinking to be chosen. And that realization stays with them long after you've moved forward. If this feels familiar, pause. Breathe. Not every loss is loud. Some arrive as calm acceptance. Walking away doesn't always mean you stopped caring. Sometimes it means you learned how to care for yourself. If someone feels you slipping away, it's often because you chose peace over persistence, self-respect over waiting, truth over hope that hurts, and that choice matters. If this spoke to your heart, write one word you're choosing now. Peace, closure, strength, letting go. You're not alone, and your story is still unfolding. If this brought clarity to your heart, take a moment and breathe. Write one word in the comments that describes what you're choosing now. Peace, strength, healing, letting go. This is Pure Wisdom, a space for quiet truths, emotional depth, and self-respect. If you're drawn to awareness over noise and growth over confusion, subscribe and stay with us. New reflections arrive when they're meant to. You're not alone here.